we want to put hospitals out of business. Not because they're mean or they're necessary, but if people are healthy, they don't need these really expensive interventions. But when we put the coal miners out of business, how do they make a living? And so the hospitals are going to try to prevent any of these changes because they don't have another way of making a living.
Are they
Well,
not?
interventions is how they make most of their money, right?
Yes.
Because of, in fairness to the hospitals, right? They've got EMTALA rules and everything else. So they've got to fund all this free emergency care that they're doing that's very high cost. And the way they fund it is by doing procedures in the operating rooms and doing downstream revenue of interventional radiology. And that's how they fund it.
And
So,
we're no different, right? You get what not everybody, but some people get paid for doing that depression screen,
mhm,
even if it's just $5.
sure.
But you're like, okay, I'm gonna get paid $5 for doing that. Why wouldn't I be doing it? It's a good thing to do.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do it
Nothing.
on every kid, right? So you do it. They're like, people are gonna die if they don't get their cancer therapy.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't I do it? And I make money at it.
Mhm.
People will feel so great after they do their knee replacement, and we make tons of money at it, and the customer's happy. Why wouldn't we chase that revenue line?
Right, 100%.
They're not
That's
evil. They're not
no,
evil.
no,
They're
they're
just doing
doing
their job, and they're
right,
maximizing their margins at doing their job and trying to do quality while they do their job.
which
Uh,
is why you have to have quality and value as a part of how you motivate people.
okay.
Because if you financially motivate people who have to run their businesses, we live in a capitalistic society. If you financially motivate people to do the things that are ethical, that are good quality, that are good for patients, it's a win. But you
Mm.
have to have that piece in there. It can't be fee for service alone. You
No,
read
no,
most,
no, I agree
yeah,
with you.
yeah,
I agree
yeah.
with you. And what you're saying, what pops into my mind when you say that, so when you say, "I'm going to align the financial incentives for pediatricians to do what's best for the kids,"
Mhm.
what impact do you think that would have on the burnout and the longevity of our professionals?
Oh my God, it would help so much, right? Because now you're getting rewarded for doing what you already want to do and you already know is best, right? And that is the biggest frustration. That's one of the reasons why we have a physician shortage because we have people retiring early. My plan is 5 more years. And that's crazy, right? I'll be 56, but we'll see if I get to do it or not. But I think the reality is people don't want to do this job for their whole lives like they used to because of moral injury and burnout. And I know some people don't like the term burnout, but you all know what I mean. You don't feel
Yeah.
valued. You don't feel like what you're doing, other people think is important. And you've worked really hard at it. And you keep having people put barriers in front of you to make it more difficult. And that example of the carrot and the stick with the whole Medicaid thing, take more Medicaid patients because you've got parity. And then all of a sudden, poof, it goes back down to 40% of Medicare rates. And now you're stuck with it. What's the right thing to do to keep taking care of these kids? But everybody
And
else
we've
just wants
developed a
to do it.
relationship with them, and now you
Right.
gotta go like, "Oh, I'm just gonna drop you because I can't make money at seeing you." I'm
And the
sorry.
pediatricians are the worst at doing that. That's what attracted us to pediatrics in the first place, right? We're very soft when it comes to those things. Yeah. And I think that's why I think George is right. I think most pediatricians by far, most pediatricians are doing the right thing, but not all preventive health care is being done by pediatricians, right? So there's lots of other people out there. But I think that's,
And not all preventive care interventions
uh-huh,
are, valuable.
100%. Yeah.
So then you have to decide what really has a value, and some things may not have a dollar amount to it as far as value, but have tremendous impact, so you're still gonna do them. Thank you very much. We'll have to have you back and disagree on something else because we at the
We
end of the day.
disagree. This is the
No,
crazy
no,
part.
no,
Every
we
time I
agree.
listen to you, I'm like, yep, we're saying the same thing.
We're saying the same thing.